Qin Pingping has been called the ultimate evil in this drama. Why does Fan Xian still praise him for being nice? Fan Xian is preparing for his mission to Northern Qi to exchange Xian for Yin Bingyun. The mission to the Northern Qi is bound to be dangerous. It's a test for Fan Xian. Qin Pingping reminded him. He must bring Yin Bingyun back to Qing safely. What Qin Pingping had planned for him. He feels he's a good man. Now that you're back from the north, you'll be able to take over the procuratorate. His brothers have prepared a lot of things for him. For defense, he has fireproof and knife-proof clothes. If the other side uses a mountain opening axe, I'd advise him to hide. In the newly developed rusty sword, the Alliance will shoot out the sword here. It's off. It's very stealthy, isn't it? But it's not enough to kill. It's the only way to stay if you're poisoned. It's not worth a vacation. Number 4, poison is easy to solve. He came back alive after a while. The strangest thing is the escape rope. You can even strangle a few people to death for fun. Haha, it looks like a jade pendant. You can break it in a crisis. It's the best way to conceal your identity. I also put some spicy powder which can block the enemy. Hey, quickly open the door. Looking at all these hidden weapons, I can't help but notice. I have to say, they're really good to Fan Xian. But on the way home, the men Qin Pingping sent to protect Fan Xian, they were all killed. They thought they were assassins. Fan Xian had to abandon the carriage and flee, but he didn't get far. The last guard to protect him was also killed. Fan Xian was surprised to find that it was Fei Jie, an old favorite he hadn't seen in years. Fei Jie had just returned to Kyoto to check on the situation. Seeing Fan Xian surrounded by a group of sneaks, he thought they might be against him, so he took care of them. Then Fei Jie realized that Fan Xian was going to Northern Qi. He knew it was a dangerous trip, because back then, Qin Pingping had to pay with his legs. Qin Pingping used both of his legs to take down Xian. Now he couldn't watch Fan Xian take the risk. Whose idea was this? But when I opened the door, I found Qin Pingping approaching. They had a big fight in the backyard. Neither of them could convince the other. Qin Pingping knew that when Fan Xian returned, the whole of Kyoto would be in his hands. He'd have a great future ahead of him. But Fei Jie feared a repeat of the tragedy. He's always thought of Fan as his son. He doesn't want to grow old with no one to take care of him. He'll have an 80-year-old man and a crippled man are fighting it out. And neither of them could convince the other. Until Fan Xian admitted that he volunteered for the accident. Then they stopped talking. Then Fan Xian took Lin Wan Er to the countryside. He told him he didn't want to go. But if he didn't go, I was afraid their engagement would be broken. Lin Wan Er said there was no engagement. The two of them could elope. I've saved up some money. We'll go wherever we want. Until no one can find us seeing Lin Wan Er being so open and honest. Fan Xian was touched. But because he loves her, he can't take her and run away. That's why she must go to Beiki this time. Although Lin Wan Er is a bit worried, she won't stop him. She is urging him to come back alive. As the ambiguous atmosphere continues to stir, they gave their first kisses on the grass. On the day of departure, Qin Pingping and Fei Jie came to see him off. Fei Jie gave Fan Xian the newly developed poison, so he could kill him in a pinch. Although it can't kill anyone, but even if he lost his way, he'll have to faint for a while. While they were chatting, Sri Sri was escorted out of the supervisory court. Qin Pingping told him. The Emperor of Northern Qi has specially requested to bring Sri Sri back to Northern Qi. It's understandable that Beiki wants Xian back. After all, Xian is a powerful man. He'll be of some use back in Beiki. But Sri Sri is not used. Xian was being escorted out in chains. He's never seen the light of day. Suddenly he was free. He breathed in the sunlight greedily. He turned to Qin Pingping and Fei Xie. He said he had been praying for them in the dungeon. He hoped they would live a long life when they returned to Northern Qi one day. I'll personally bring someone. Qin Pingping asked him to go to Taiping Di Yuan before he left. Someone wants to see him. Fan Xian obeyed and went to Taiping Di Yuan. As expected, he saw Emperor Qing here. Emperor Qing told him Beiki could have done without him, but he was still young. He needs to go out and train more. He also told him the temple has been poisoned with a kind of poison called Hong Xiuxiao. This time the plan to call Hong Xiuxiao is only in vain. The real purpose is to find a chance to kill Xian. Fan Xian smiled bitterly. He killed Xian and the Emperor in Northern Qi. It equalizes to suicide if it happens. Then Fan Xian said he didn't understand. This isn't a secret. Why can't we talk about it in the palace? It's different here than in the palace. In the palace, it's between the king and his subjects. What's the difference here? Remember to come back alive. How many godfathers has been taking care of Fan Xian? Qin Pingping promised Fei Jing. He'll keep Fan Xian safe. If there was only one man left in the world, I would choose Fan Xian. He wants his guards to escort Fan Xian. And Fei Jing is even more arrogant. If anything happens to you in Northern Qi, I'll bury the whole country with you. Before he left, Fei specially told Fan Xian, when you get to Beiki, watch out for a few people. The brocade guards, Xinjiang and Grand Master Bitter He. They don't want Shaoin to go back to Northern Qi. They'll attack Shaoin on the way. After another, There's still good drinkers. Then there's the poison in Slytherin's body. He poisoned himself. This poison can only be transmitted when we are closely entwined. It's only when you're in a close relationship that it's contagious. In order to prevent him from getting infected, I prepared an antidote for him. I'm afraid you can't help it. You'll be poisoned. Cut it off yourself, how could I? What do you mean you couldn't help it? Teacher, I'm a decent person. I didn't mean to do anything to him. Finally, there's one more person to watch out for. Xian's adopted son, Uyama. You can tell by the way he eats pork. This grandson is just like his name. Anyone who meets these people, they're not to be trifled with. Just as we arrived at the gate, Fan Xian saw his brother and sister coming to see him off. Versace can't stay away from his business. Tell him to write more books when he has time. Fan Rua decided to move to the royal residence from today. She'll take care of Fan Xian's future sister-in-law. Fan Jianza has already arranged for his own family to accompany him. To accompany Fan Xian north. The leader's name is Gao Da. He's at the top of the 8th grade. That's a grandmaster. Only grandmaster is worth fighting. There's only one person in the world who can get Wu Zhu to fight. For Fan Xian's safety, he decided to fight with Grandmaster Bitter River. But it wasn't easy for him to stall Bitter River, so he couldn't escort him to Northern Qi. He'll have to make the journey on his own. Fan Xian knows this is a dangerous trip, but he knows he can handle it on his own. He remembered something from the past. I seem to know the name Xian. That's all I can think of. So Xian might know my mom's secret. You can ask him yourself. But my orders were to kill him. When Gao Da saw Fan Xian, he complained to him. He said Qing Nian was sneaking around and stole fruit from the mission stockpile. He couldn't be trusted. He wanted to get rid of him. Fan Xian was helpless. He had no choice but to calm Gao Da. He said he'd take care of it. Back in the car, Fan Xian was worried. He didn't know how to persuade Qing Nian, but then he realized that he was being secretive. He poked his head in. He handed Fan Xian a piece of cloth. He said he stole some fruit frozen in ice. No one noticed how many were missing. The next day, Gouda caught him stealing fruit again. This time he tried to get rid of him. Fan Xian had to start fooling him. He said Qing Nian was a brave man. Xian's reputation precedes him. No one dared ride with him. Only Qing Nian volunteered to ride with him. Gao Da listened to him and changed his opinion of Qing Nian. So he approached him privately. He expressed his admiration for him and said that if anything happened to him, I would definitely take revenge for him. Qing Nian was so confused. He didn't know what to say after Gao Da left. Fan Xian told him the whole story. He told him the whole story. Qing Nian was instantly flabbergasted. He's poisoned mushrooms, isn't he? Actually, you were eating fruit, and he saw you. I stole fruit. His wife, and then I slightly help you to return a little. Stop. He's right. If you make a move, you won't be alive. Duo pulled out 2 axes from his waist. He struck at Wu Zhu dodged quickly with their keen sense of hearing. Even though Haitong's strength is above the 9th grade, but it's still far from being a great master. The axes in his hands are forcing Wu Zhu hard, but he was calm and unhurried. It was easy to cope with the situation. He quickly knocked him back to the shore with no effort at all. Master, I can't beat him. Go to Qin and kill Xian. Don't let him return to the capital. How can I leave? Anyone who isn't a grandmaster can leave the Bitter River. I know that Wu Zhu is more powerful than a grandmaster, so he told Dodo to go to Qing to kill Xian. Wu Zhu didn't stop him. After he left, Wu Zhu jumped into the waterfall, into the valley of the waterfall. They fought with Bitter River. The 2 masters are on fire. How fierce can they be? Even the 9th-ranked Haidang Duo can't get close to them. Fan Xian doesn't know the danger is coming. The convoy found a hotel to rest on the way. Qing Nian told Fan Xian the truth about his conversation with Xian. Fan Xian was shocked. He concluded that within a day, Xian will kill Qing Nian. At that moment, Xian was polishing a bead in his hand in his cell. Fan Xian pretended to change his medicine. He took the tablet from him. He revealed to his face that he wanted to kill Qing Nian. It was used to kill Qing Nian. Qing Nian thought Xian's hands were tied. He didn't have a chance to kill him. But when Fan Xian showed him the bamboo tablet, Qing Nian broke out in a cold sweat. But sir, I don't understand. Why would he want to kill me? You've seen Xian's life, right? They said he's cruel and vicious. In order to prevent leaks, he decided to travel from Sangzhou to the 7 Kingdoms. But the route Fan Xian had just decided on, Yin Shaohui wanted to avenge Li Yunrui's death. He didn't say a word. He led his men to Sangzhou to assassinate Fan Xian's men. Although he was warned that crossing the border is a serious offense, Yin Shaohui couldn't listen. He just told them, if he left, they'll be punished along with him. Their lives would be in danger. If they go with him, he'll make sure they're safe. They decided to go with Yin Shaohui to assassinate Fan Xian. At that moment, Fan Xian came to Sri Li's car. Sully saw that Fan Xian was tired. He was heartbroken. He offered to give Fan a massage. I'll give you a massage. Thank you, ma'am.